Hi guys, welcome back to the Explorer Academy, the Nebula Secret. Today we're going to be jumping in on chapter 4, which starts on page 29. If you have your books, you could follow along. One thing that's cool about chapter 4 is at the very end of the chapter, on page 36 and 37, is a really cool map of the academy where Cruz and Emmett and Saylor are all going to be attending. So make sure you take a minute and really check that out. I like these kind of things because it's just like a map and it shows you the museum and the planetarium and the lunch area and everywhere they're going to be going at the school. And that's super cool. So let's jump right in. Chapter 4. To discover, to innovate, to protect. Cruz forgot to exhale as his gaze swept over the school motto, etched in marble above steel doors. A row of white marble columns and a steep pointed roof that seemed to tap the sky. He remembered to breathe again only when they reached the summit of the limestone steps. "That's our room," said Emmett, pointing to a window in the top corner of the building. "Fifth floor, last window on the left." The inside of the academy was almost as imposing as the outside. Blinding white marble with tiny black veins running through it covered the walls and floor of the vast lobby. A relief map of the world covered almost an entire wall. Fan-shaped black sconces sent V-shaped rays of light upward, while ornate black iron lamps topped with trapezoid black and white stained glass shades illuminated the simple lines of black leather chairs and sofas. Most of the seats in the spacious room were filled with middle and high school age kids talking or bent over their phones and tablets. Plush black and white rugs led to a tall black granite front desk so shiny Cruz could see his reflection in it. Cruz motioned for Aunt Marisol to go ahead with him with Saylor. "See you up there," Emmett said to Cruz, headed for the elevator. "Fifth floor, Mount Everest room. FYI, all the dorm rooms are named after natural wonders of the world." Of course they were. This was Explorer Academy after all. While Cruz waited to check in, he studied the rug beneath him. It was woven with Egyptian figures and hieroglyphics. Thanks to Aunt Marisol's cryptographic puzzles, Cruz was familiar with the ancient form of writing. He knew what many of the symbols stood for, like the looped cross, which was the sign for life, and the sun, which represented the passage of time. Aunt Marisol turned from the desk. "Saylor is all set up in one of the girls' rooms." "I'm in the Great Barrier Reef room," giggled Saylor. "Doesn't it just figure? I've come 14,000 kilometers away from home, only to end up down under all over again." They laughed. Saylor picked up her suitcase. "Thanks for everything, Professor Coronado. See you in class." "Sweet as to meet you, Cruz." "Sweet as what?" "Just sweet as. It's a Kiwi thing. I know it's a sentence fragment, but..." Cruz felt himself relax. Maybe making new friends wasn't going to be as hard as he imagined. "Sweet as to meet you, too," he said. "Do you need help getting settled?" his aunt asked as they watched Saylor roll her purple suitcase to the elevator. "I got it," said Cruz. She let out the same satisfied sigh as his dad did on Saturdays when he got the last item crossed off his to-do list. "I'm going to head home and check in with your dad. He said you injured your foot surfing." She glanced down. "You okay?" "Yep, see?" Cruz bounced on one foot to the other. His ankle felt as if he'd never been hurt at all. "Good. So call or text if you need anything." A slow smile warmed her face. "You're going to love Academy. How many kids your age get to go on an archaeological dig for a lost civilization or help save an endangered species? It's the adventure of a lifetime, you know." "I know." He was excited but nervous, too. She squeezed his shoulder. "See you tomorrow." "Bye, Aunt Marisol." A boy a year or two older than Cruz, his legs slung over the arm of the leather chair, nodded toward the pink suit leaving the lobby. "Is that your aunt?" Cruz pretended not to hear. "Hey, talking to you, surfer dude." Cruz glanced down at his goofy foot. Surf shop tee. Hesitant, he tapped his chest. "Yeah, you." The boy was wearing a red t-shirt that said, "I'm kind of a big deal." "Is Professor Coronado your aunt?" Well, Cruz inched toward the front desk, but the young woman who helped Saylor had stepped into the back office. "Guys, get this," barked Big Deal. "He's Dr. Coronado's nephew." Forehead spun. Who? Cruz felt his face glow. I... Big Deal let out a whistle. Renshaw, you and all the other newbies might as well kiss the North Star Award goodbye now. Not me, spouted a gangly boy sitting nearby. A sunburned nose and cheeks were covered in brown freckles. His hair was cut so short you could see a small mole on the side of his skull. That award is mine, Dugan Marsh. M-A-R-S-H. Spell it right on the trophy, people. That got hoots from the young explorers and snorts from the older ones. Thank you for that bold yet premature comment, Mr. Marsh. The desk clerk was back, her shoulders barely clearing the top of the granite desk. The petite woman had bright green eyes and a short crop of hair that reminded Cruz of a sparrow's feathers. A badge reading Taryn was pinned on her red turtleneck by her collarbone. Need I remind you, she said sternly, that the North Star Award is based on many factors, including performance, attitude, and potential? The administration, faculty, and staff have input in selecting the winner, and I can assure you that no one, not even this young explorer here, will get preferential treatment. A hush fell over the lobby. All eyes turned to Cruz, who wished he could disappear into the carpet and hide among the Egyptians. This was not how he wanted to start things at the academy. This kind of news was bound to spread faster than headlights at summer camp. Everyone would believe he was here because his aunt pulled strings. How could he blame them when... Part of him believed it too. Also, there's no trophy, said Karen. The winner gets their name engraved on the big crystal pyramid in the library. Cruz felt a hand on his shoulder. Don't let him get to you, whispered a voice. Turning slightly, Cruz glanced up into friendly eyes that not even a mass of dark curls could hide. I've heard some of the recruits will try to mess with your head, said the boy, who was a good 2 inches taller than Cruz. Some of them can't handle friendly competition. I can, said Cruz. Then we're going to get along great. The boy stuck out his hand. Zane Patrick. Cruz Coronado. Cruz clasped ebony fingers, and they shook. Zane had a strong grip. Roof! They looked down to see the eager black button eyes of a West Highland white terrier gazing up at them. Hiya, Pop, said Cruz, kneeling. That's Hubbard, said Taryn. He's my dog, but he gets spoiled by all the attention from the explorers, so he thinks he owns the place. Cruz let the Westie give his hand a good sniff before scratching the dog between the ears. Roo! Roo! Hubbard's tail became a fluffy white pendulum of joy. Next, please, Taryn was calling out for Cruz. Standing, he stepped up to the desk. I'm Taryn Seacliff, your dorm advisor. If you have questions, problems, concerns, complaints, needs, or wants, you are to come here. I am around 24/7 except Saturdays between noon and 7. That's my afternoon off. During the day, you can usually find me working here at the front desk, and at night, you can find me on the 5th floor in the Sahara room, just off the elevator between the girls' and boys' hallways. That's where I live. From there, I see, hear, and know everything that goes on. Everything. Got it? Translation. Don't do anything stupid, Cruz thought. Got it, said Cruz. Oh, and please don't feed Hubbard. He had a bit of a weight problem with all the explorers slipping him food, so now all meals and treats come from me. Okay. Hold out your left wrist, palm up. Cruz's heart fluttered. My left... Yes, your left arm. And remove your bracelet. Cruz slid off his elastic Aztec dragon bracelet made from red and green beads. A birthday gift from Aunt Marisol last year. His dad had one too. When he held out his wrist, Terrence said what he knew she'd say. Such an unusual birthmark. She turned his arm to get a better look at the rose-colored twisted ladder on the inside of his wrist. It looks like a double helix. Very cool. He had not expected her to say that. For most of his life, he'd been teased about the 2-inch blemish. He had learned to use wristbands, bracelets, watches, sleeves, duct tape to keep it hidden. Terrence snapped a gold band like Emmett's on him. Over the next 15 seconds, the band slowly tightened, conforming to his arm like a second skin. It was so light he barely felt it. This is your OS band. It stands for Organic Synchronization, although the explorers just call it the Open Sesame Band. It's your passkey. Open it, hold it up to security cam, and it will get you into any place explorers are allowed in the complex. It uses the electricity cavity of your heart to identify you. It's a miniature electrocardiogram machine? Precisely. It also monitors all vital signs: brain function, immune system, growth patterns, physical activity, calorie count, whether you've brushed your teeth. Really? Just kidding about the last one. Cruz chuckled. However, do not lose it, or you can really kiss the North Star Award goodbye. Carelessness is one of Dr. Hightower's pet peeves. Cruz gave her a solemn nod. I won't forget. A word to the wise, she cocked an eyebrow. Don't focus on the award. You'll try too hard. Desperation almost always leads to error. Then what should I do? Work a lot, play a little. Let the rest take care of itself. Taryn handed him a computer about the same size and thickness as a greeting card. It had a black neoprene protective covering. This is your digital notebook. Use it for all assignments, training sessions, field notes. It has a keyboard touchscreen, but also a stylus embedded at the top right corner. The tablet contains your orientation video, class schedule, school rules, campus map. Review and memorize, please. The dining hall is behind me. Head down the hall and you'll see it on your left. The classroom is inside the library, which is at the end of the corridor past the dining hall. The main entrance to the cave is in the basement. Use the staircase at the far end of the lobby. Cave? Computer animated virtual experience. It's where you'll do your training missions. A simulator? As Saylor would say, sweet as. Do not lose your personal computer, said Taryn. Like I said, big pet peeve. Orientation is tomorrow at 7 a.m. in the library classroom with a full day of classes after that. So while I know it may be tempting to enjoy your freedom, don't. Get your rest. You'll need it. Nobody sleeps through class around here. Cruz was tired. He didn't sleep much on the plane. You're in the Mount Everest room, said Taryn. Take the elevator up to the 5th floor. Thanks, I know the way. He flung his backpack over one shoulder. One more word. She bent her cropped brown head. Opportunity comes in many forms. It's not how you get it that matters, but what you do with it. Cruz knew what she was getting at, but if the other explorers were convinced he was being favored, nothing he said or did was likely to change their minds. How could he possibly prove to them and himself that he belonged here? Giving Hubbard a good-night scratch, Cruz reached for his suitcase. Oh, and Cruz? He straightened. Yes? Welcome to the academy. Thanks, guys, for listening. Next time, we'll hit Chapter 5.